Okay, so this is where we left off yesterday, or whenever you're watching this video, where I had cut all this out. So we're going to start to clean all this up now. We're going to get all this taken away. This is the old part of the fender laying way out there. We're going to start getting all that taken out of there, cleaned up, and probably spend a good most of the day cleaning this stuff up and getting that all prepped and ready before we can even begin to put this on. Some of you ask why. Well, I ask why not. Anything can be fixed. Granted, it is money, it is time, but I love old cars, and we're saving another car here for someone, and it means something to him, and that's part of it too. It means something to him, and he's doing it for his wife. And these panels, actually, to be quite honest with you, are very inexpensive. All this stuff is. So away we go. We'll start cleaning up, and we'll see where it goes. Okay guys, it may not look different to you, but it is. I cleaned off all the bits and pieces that were still along here. I drew a line. This line is not the straightest, but it doesn't matter. It's just a quick guideline that's showing me roughly where the fender well was put on. You can still see the old spot welds. So it gives me an idea. But we got so much rust everywhere, and this is what I was explaining. I knew this was here. I may as well deal with this section of the floor. Because remember, these panels came with the car, but this section didn't, so I may as well deal with that. So I'm going to deal with that now, because you know why? Because I can walk in and out of here cleanly and freely, and it's just easy to get to, so we're going to deal with that right now. And then I've cut the piece out that's rotten, just a little piece right here on this piece. I got to fix that. Now, surprisingly, everyone has been writing in and saying, hey Rick, I bet you get into that Mustang, there's nothing left of it. I bet you inside the cowl and the vent channels and all that are rotten. Surprisingly enough, I cut underneath here with a wire wheel. I crawled up in there. There's no rust in there. Thank God. So this piece is all solid. The part underneath it, your vents come through, all that kind of stuff. Normally the water sits in there and it rots. It's not rotten on this car. It's solid as a rock. So thank God for that. So anyway, I'm going to take care of a lot of these pieces here. But again, cleaning up these edges, getting the pieces off of here that were still tacked on from the original existing piece way out there. Just tidying stuff up. There's already half a day gone. And now I got to get this in. So it doesn't look like this panel is going to be going in today along here, but we are going to take care of all this kind of stuff here today. We're going to get that taken care of, get this taken care of. We're going to get that kind of shit done. So that's the main thing. So that's what's going on the Mustang so far. So we'll continue on and start making some patch panels, and away we go. All right, guys. So I've made a piece up in here. Butt welded it all in. Then I've come along and I've gotten the a new frame rail support or channel, whatever you prefer to call it. Got a couple tacks on it. Took measurements again. Like I said, I got measurements, so I made sure it's sitting where it should be. Got my level out, made sure everything was okay there. And then when you get these new front ends that are complete, they also give you this piece here to weld on, which is actually, you can see how that one's all rotted away. So they do give you that. So I got that put on. So my next step here, actually, but I don't know if I'm going to tackle it now because it's almost the end of the day now, pretty much, would be, because I've only tacked that in, the top piece I welded on for sure, because it's going to go in one place. You can't really mess that up. My next step is going to be to bring this over and kind of set it in place and make sure everything's lining up with that. And if it lines up good with that, then I'm going to take that piece back off, and I'm going to finish welding that. And then how that gets welded on is, I believe I showed you originally. See, it gets plug welded all through there like factory. And then if you want to make it a little more durable, secure, is you can always come along and on this lip you can always do like a little stitch of a weld, like maybe an inch long underneath here. And then I'm going to run a nice seam sealer under there anyway. So you can always do that too. That way there, if you're worried about whether your plug weld came through the floor and attached on here solid, if you do a couple stitch welds, it doesn't hurt. Now that wouldn't be factory, the stitch welds, but you can if you want. It never hurts to do a little bit extra, right, just to make sure. So anyway, I'm going to fit this piece now. I can't film this, hold this, and do everything else and fit that. I'm going to fit it, make sure that that piece is fitting in here good. Remember, I had all my lines here I'd drawn where it roughly went. Obviously it butts up underneath of this piece here. Then it comes across. And even though this is the old rad support, I'm going to put the new one on, but you can see it goes down here. I left this old one in so I can put this front piece on to make sure it's lining up. Once I know it lines up, then we'll deal with getting rid of that. So I'm going to make sure that lines up in here, then pull it back off, finish welding that in, plug weld it all underneath there, maybe do a couple stitch welds, and then we will tackle that. So that's what's going on here at Old Time Garage today. So again, thank you for subscribing. Thanks for watching. I want to give a big shout out there. I'm a Canadian boy. Y'all know it. Go check out WD Speed Shop. This guy is the master at finding Tri-Fi Chevys. I don't know what it is. I'm looking for a 55 two-door post, just a body, no Reggie, don't care. I've got the front end. I'm just going to make a gasser out of it. But the old school gasser, like one seat, big motor, plexiglass, don't give a shit about anything. And this guy's finding them left, right, and center for cheap. Anyway, check him out, Double D Speed Shop. He's a good guy. I love watching him there. And that's it. So remember, it's always a good time and old time. We'll see you next time.